Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Urša Vilhar and I work at Slovenian Forest Institute. Today I will have a short presentation about the general public dissemination of the LIFEGENMON project, which is a contribution of a large number of project co-workers in Slovenia, Germany and Greece. The main focus of the dissemination in the LIFEGENMON project was to promote knowledge about forests, forestry, forest genetics, and raising awareness about the effects of climate change on forests. In order to achieve the most efficient transfer of knowledge, dissemination activities were divided into main target groups, taking into account differences in age, interests, and level of knowledge. The main target groups that were identified by the LIFEGENMON project team were general public, different stakeholders, and policymakers. Within the target group general public, special attention was paid to the dissemination activities for kindergarten children and pupils in primary and secondary schools. Dissemination activities for them should introduce knowledge not only by listening and watching, but also by touching, smelling, and personal experience in the forest. But what is the most effective way to reach children? The answer of the LIFEGENMON project team was through activities and teaching materials for kindergartens, schools, and families. 5 different approaches were used to reach this specific target group of kindergarten children and pupils in schools. First, children's books and cartoons about forestry, forests, genetic resources with augmented reality animation as an innovative pedagogical technique. Second, by organizing workshops and public open days for kindergartens and schools aimed at children, their teachers, and educators. Third, by organizing training courses and publishing teaching materials for teachers and educators. In addition, a smartphone app for children, teachers, educators, and parents was developed. And last but not least, organizing events for families. Workshops with active engagement of children were organized in all 3 project countries and abroad, which have reached in total more than 4,000 children. These workshops were organized for kindergarten children and lower classes of primary school children, with special focus on personal experiences in the forest. But we also organized workshops for pupils and students where more complex topics were introduced to them, such as research work, work in the laboratories, forest genetics, and so on. Open days for general public were organized in all project countries. In total, our project team reached more than 4,500 people with activities on the open days. In Slovenia, 9 training courses for teachers were organized in the Slovenian Forestry Institute and the educational group Forest of Experiments in cooperation with the Slovenian network of forest schools and kindergartens. In total, more than 700 teachers and educators were reached. A very successful publication of the teaching materials for outdoor education was the Handbook for Learning and Play in the Forest. It was published in Slovenian in 1,000 copies and in English in 500 copies in 2016. Due to a great interest of teachers and educators, the Slovenian version was reprinted in 2019 in 5,000 copies by the financial support of the Slovenian Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Food, and it was distributed to all primary schools in Slovenia. The handbook was also presented to more than 400 teachers at 10 events in bookshops, training courses, project networking workshops, and so on. The handbook is available also online for free download and has more than 11,000 views in each of the languages. The handbook presents 35 entertaining and educative activities for outdoor learning about trees, forest animals, water, and genetic diversity. All activities have been developed and tested in practice by the educational group Forest of Experiments at Slovenian Forestry Institute. The project activities for families have reached more than 2,500 people. In Greece, 6 events were organized for families with 340 family members. In Germany, Walderlebnistag for families was organized with more than 700 family members. In Slovenia, 2 events were organized, with the main event, the 7th Križnik Forest Fairy Tales Festival in 2018, which had 1,500 visitors in total. In addition, a smartphone app called Seedhunter was developed and is available for free for Android devices in the Google Play. In this app, the player is searching for the seeds with a smartphone, learning about trees and their life cycle. It motivates players to visit a real forest, park, nature trails, and so on, and connects nature and technology. It also has high educational value since it informs players about the importance of seed collection, rare tree species, and protection of genetic diversity. Three children books and cartoons on forestry were published in 4 languages: English, Slovenian, Greek, and German, a total of 12 books. The first book, entitled Journey to a Big Forest, is aimed at kindergarten children and tells the story of a boy named Simon who meets the 3 characters and their journey to a forest. The second book, entitled Gardens of the Forest, is a continuation of the first book with the story of a girl, Sonia, who helps the 3 characters to save the forest from the bark beetle outbreak, and is aimed at younger primary school children. The third book, entitled Forest Diary, is a continuation of the second book and is aimed at secondary school pupils. In addition, 3 short animations with augmented reality upgrade for books were produced, which can be accessed as a free mobile application, Big Forest, in the App Store or Google Play. Through activities and materials, more than 56,600 children, parents, teachers, and educators were reached and informed about the LIFEGENMON project and its results. Some of them were reached through more than one approach, which allowed a synergy effect of the dissemination activities. Thank you very much for your attention.